Love and relationship, please. I am curious as a sidebar. I'm going to be looking into this, but as I was talking, the fact that children came up, I'm curious if you have a connection with children, a desire for children, if that's come up in relationships at all, or if you work with children or something, just because of the fact that that came through when I was listing things off, and that was like really specific and not a normal category I give when I am suggesting things to people. So let me know, but I will look into love and relationships. Okay. I'm getting something like a lock, like locking something down, locking in, wanting something secure. Ooh, that feels nice. Wanting something really secure. I'm getting chills. Um, really having a sense of security in relationships. Really like they have your back. Like you have their back, but like they have your back. Oh my gosh, I'm getting full body chills as I'm talking about this. I have a niece who I'm really close to. I also have a desire to have my own one day. Okay. Yes, secure relationship, correct. Okay. Really secure, secure. They have your back. They really, really have your back. They have your back in on levels. It feels like it's like it goes so deep that it's like in all sorts of different circumstances. I keep getting something with the family dynamics. So, because I know there's like discourse and things about like, okay, when you get married, then it's like, well, if you're making your own family, and then what about the families that you come from, and there can be some tension and disagreements about things. So it feels like it's applying to all of these different areas and like all of these ways that like I just keep getting like they're locked in. They're locked in, they have your back. They're locked in, they have your back. Okay, so again, I can take this in different ways. I can look into um things to look for, or trying to get a better understanding of this. Oh, great, you asked a question. Would that apply to the guy I'm currently seeing? Okay, cool. Um, would you mind just sharing his first name? Raj. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm one trying to get a read on his energy, and then also when I do relationship readings, what I'll do is like I'll picture some sort of avatar for him, picture something for you, and then I can like send you down the road. I know Maggie's here. I did a similar thing um, with Maggie in some previous relationship readings, so I can see like, okay, are you going down the road together? Is one of you moving ahead? What's happening to each of you? So you can see how you're like connecting and interacting in the longer term. Um, all right, so what is Raj? What's his vibe? I just keep saying something about like writing, like writing, but it's mechanical. I don't know if this means like technical, literally technical writing, or with precision, or it's in a few words. I feel like there's a lot of different options here. So let me know if one of them like um, clicks with whatever this visual is for him. Writing, because we text a lot. I just keep seeing it's like I don't have a pen here. It's like just being clicked, it's being clicked over and over and over and over again. All right, I'm just going to move to putting the two of your energies next to each other because I'm not really sure. Again, sometimes it's kind of hard in this environment because it's like we can't be as real time to understand like what some of the visuals are. Um, so I'm just going to put the two of you next to each other. His avatar is just going to be this click and pen because this is the thing that I keep getting with him. It's like a mechanical pencil. um, the energies do feel like really different because it's like what I see for you is like, oh, what do I picture for you? And it's like, oh, it's like a pink flower. And it's really there's a lot of pollen in it. It's like it feels like it's like abundant, like things to things to offer and share, and that can pull people in. Like, like the bees want to come to that flower, if you will. And then to have that as a contrast with him being very mechanical is interesting because it's like you're of nature and he's of machine. Um, as an aside. So I'm just kind of putting the two of you next to each other and seeing like how you interact. So it's like, what happens to this writing utensil? What happens to the flower? Um, I'm getting something about like poking holes. It's like if you had petals of a flower and like you had like a pen or a pencil, it's like you can very easily like puncture it. So there's something about poking holes. So like, again, I keep getting stuff that has to do with like how you're communicating with each other. So like I was saying, oh, is he like a man of few words? But you were saying you're texting a lot. So I don't know if it's like if he could be like sharp with his words or very like blunt, or I don't know. That doesn't even necessarily feel right. But it's like it feels like there's something about that. I don't know if it's like if he and you said it's new, so I don't know if it's like parts of him that you haven't seen yet where he could like having some different sides to him that are a little bit like sharper. But I don't know, there's just something that feels like again like it's very like direct or bold or something about him, and and there may be some discrepancies in how that lands for you. Because it's not like it gets rid. It's not like the flower can't function if it has a couple little, tiny little poked holes in the petals. Like it can still do all the normal things. I'm just trying to get a gauge on like, is that like what's the vibe of that? He's really open and honest with his communication thus far, more expressive than me. Okay, so then I guess it does make sense that he is a writing utensil. Um, Not long distance. This is kind of tricky. I don't know why this is like. Yes, no, I think it's probably like a pretty obvious like yin and yang kind of a thing, but because if he's very active and like he's writing, he's doing, and then you're being, it's kind of a classic like divine feminine masculine energy situation here. Which is why, like, okay, sometimes that can work. Within us, we all have feminine and masculine energies, and it's about coming to a balance and knowing is one being under fueled, and like, how do we lean into that? So that's what I mean. Like, that's where I'm confused by it because I'm seeing, I'm like, oh, like, isn't it like not a great thing that the pen is puncturing holes in the petals, but it doesn't feel like it's bad. Like, it doesn't feel like it's like a problem. It's just it's about like a difference of approach. That's how it's coming across. Like how he's delivering, how he's maybe approaching things, some of his priorities, like it's just different. It's like you have differences and it doesn't mean the differences are an incompatibility. It's just that there's differences in like how you kind of exist and how you're operating. So if I try to put the two of you down the road together to see like what's happening. Okay, so remember, I'm picturing a flower and a pen going down the street, okay? So he's like spinning around, like he kind of starts, it seems like he like has like some joy and like some pep in his step, like, and so it kind of feels goofy, like there's like a goofier side to him. So even though he may have this exterior where he seems like, again, he's mechanical or harder edge or whatever it is, that he's like has a playfulness to him. And it does feel like I said the word coaxing earlier. It seems like he's like come along, like he's trying to have you follow with him because he has the drive, movement, momentum, and excitement and energy about him. And it feels very active. Again, that's very young energy. So it's like very active. And then you're just kind of like, it's like you're moving a little bit slower because it's like you're a flower. Like flowers aren't supposed to be like moving around. They're just supposed to be planted. So it's like you're moving, but it's almost like you have to be put in like a wheelbarrow or something to be like pulled along so that you can like keep up because it's just something about your energies. But it's not that you can't go down this road together. It totally feels like you can. It's just there may need to be some modifications of things, like some assist or tools or practices or agreements that you come to about how you're interacting with each other. Because if he's kind of just going, he's like in a different gear than you, you're still both moving. You're still moving forward. It's just like it's either getting them in sync. Okay, I see you're posting a lot. Let me catch up. He's planning the dates, asking to see you. It's a very nice thing. We want that. Also excited to see me. I'm always on his mind and distracting him. Oh, okay, but that's still sweet. Sounds about right. He takes the lead. Things have okay. So if things have progressed faster than you expected, then again, it's like he's having to like put you in this wagon to then pull you along so that you can catch up with him. So that's where I am coming back to what I said at the beginning. There's something about the communication. I'm just remembering I haven't even flipped over the card. There's something about the communication there, because if he's on a certain track with how he's operating, how he's speaking, what he's sharing, and you're like, you're there, but you're not there, then it's really connecting with that. So that's what, okay, now the whole punches are making more sense. Because it's like, he's so direct. He's like, oh yeah. And you're like, wait, what? Like, I wasn't expecting that. And so then it kind of feels like it's a little puncture in your pedals, if you will. Wow, this is so funny. I'm getting this has to do with this divine feminine masculine thing that we were just talking about before. This is the integrate card. Now is the time to integrate all that I've gathered. When you get this card, when you get this card, it's saying, look at the tools in your tool belt. What are the things that you've learned about yourself, about how you navigate? It's all hands on deck. It's applying everything. If you have planted the seeds for something, let's say you've planted the seeds for wanting to manifest this relationship, you've wanted this for a long time, and there's things that you like about it, then it's like, okay, well, I have to know what's worked and what hasn't worked in my previous relationships and make sure I am kind of taking a critical eye to it of like, is this ripe? Is this the thing that I wanted to harvest? And you have to apply all of your tools, your skill set to assess it and make sure it is the thing that you want. So it's twofold. Interesting. I've wanted this kind of relationship. I'm nervous that I'll end up sabotaging like other relationships. I feel you. It's looking at the toolkit. What have you learned? How have things gone? You can reflect. You can reflect on how things have gone in the previous relationships, but not overthinking. Reflecting and say, because it's not always about like, quote unquote, what you did, what you didn't do. Sometimes it's about the timing. Think about reading number 2. We're coaxing, we're wanting to start the fire, we want this relationship. And it's like, but should we be pausing? We're saying with him, hey, let's slow down, let's table a little bit. Or it could be your tactics. The card was talking about shedding your habits. So are there things that you're doing that aren't really like helping you to be present, understand your worth, know if it's the right thing or not for you in this moment right now or in the long term, however it is that makes sense for you to think about it. Time is currency. Your time is valuable. We want to make sure this guy's not wasting your time and you're not wasting his time. So that's where it's being honest about how you're communicating with each other, how you're feeling. Is he aware that you feel like it's maybe moving a little bit faster? Have you talked to him about that? That's connecting to your truth, speaking your truth. That's applying things that worked or did not work in previous relationships. And it's all quote unquote a test. It's an experiment. It's a growth opportunity. And if you are truly aligned, then your experimentation, your starting and stopping, your connecting to your truth and honesty and authentic sense of self, then he'll adjust and he'll navigate through. And I'm seeing it's like, okay, then he starts to slow down and he helps you out of the wagon. And then it's like, either he puts you on his back or you're together. It's like, it's like holding one of your leaves. It's giving him the opportunity to either prove to you that he really is a good connection by being willing to slow down and meet you where you are or not. So it's not always about a thing that you were doing or not doing. It's like you have to give them, You have to give them an opportunity to show that they're right for you. Now is the time to integrate all that I have gathered. I always overthink it, anxious, start dwelling on worst case scenarios, which ends up manifesting. Yeah, it's what do you want to manifest? And this is where I say, like, it's about you, but it's not always about you in the sense that there's other things going on. There's his behaviors, there's his baggage, there's things that he's missing. What if his pattern in relationships that he gets, not overexcited, but he like really gets super excited and enthusiastic because here's the shit, but he's not really thinking. He's not really present. He's not really hearing his partner. So rather than thinking about it as like the thing that you're doing, like what if some of how this is playing out is like the things that he's doing, the things that he's not doing, or the timing? Like this could be a great match, but what if maybe it's being tabled, maybe it's just like pumping the brakes a little bit, and then like, okay, let's just like reset, let's like go back a few steps and just like go a little slower, move forward with more intention. It's just like it's whatever your tools are, whatever you think the lessons are that you have learned or that you feel like you haven't mastered, it's a great opportunity to try applying them. I want to live in a committed relationship with an emotionally available. Oh, I feel you. It feels tough to find. And this is where it's not a square peg round hole situation. So this guy could be 98% great, and that 2% is a deal breaker. And we don't know that yet. We don't know that yet. You have to compare notes. You have to give him opportunities to prove his worth, value, contributions, and that you're making sure your time is being valued. And yeah, if I overthink, I get anxious, but okay, well then let's apply some tools to that. Because then if you can trust in the fact that you're like, okay, I know I'm not getting in my own way. I know I'm being honest, I'm being direct, I'm present, I am being vulnerable, then those are things that will make you feel confident, like reading number 1, you're taking up space. You're comfortable being seen and then being authentic. So when you feel you connect to that, when you ground fully in yourself, you just step into a different energy in these relationships, and you can kind of see them for what they are in a different way, because you're not in your head anymore. When you can kind of get out of your head, you're just being yourself. um Suggested tools are understanding yourself, so it can be reflection, it can be journaling work, it can be therapy, whatever it is that for how you're understanding yourself, in knowing the things that worked and didn't work in past relationships. So writing some of that down, or hopefully it's top of mind. If it's not, talking about it, making sure you know what those things are. What are the patterns of the previous relationships? What are the patterns that you tend to go into? What's your relationship with vulnerability? What's your relationship with being fully honest? How do you deal with confrontation? Stuff like that. It feels to me like it's mostly about like, what's your behavior? Because remember, we're talking about reading number 2, it's habits. What's your behavior, including your mind? Card number 1, resistance, speaking to ourselves with loving kindness. So you're definitely slightly more in reading number 2, but you have a little bit of reading number 1 going on. It seems to me like it's mostly about reflection, experimenting with things. So it's really, really heavy reading number 2. And part of that is being honest with him. So some of the tools are just like the tool of honesty, telling him what you think, how you feel. If you feel like it's going too fast, tell him you feel like it's going too fast, even if you like him or whatever, Actually type 2 first and then change to 1. Yeah. Trust your intuition. Hopefully that's helpful. I know there's a lot of stuff. Good example of like, I went on for a long time. I don't know how long that was. I know we're now over class. So thank you all for staying. Because I have a whole other reading and I know that was kind of long, but you're welcome. Yeah, and let me know, because I always encourage people, like, you can always message me if you have like a follow-up, like you want to give me an update and how something went, how you relate to it now that time has transpired. But yeah, it's just there's work to do, there's things to try. It's not just about your relationship with him, it's about your relationship with yourself. If your relationship with yourself is what you bring into every relationship with friends, family, partnerships, coworkers, as a parent, like your relationship with yourself bleeds into everything. Because how you are choosing to take up space or not, how comfortable you are, how direct, honest, etc., that's apparent to other people when you're interacting with them. Which is why, like what I was saying before, when you're really like so in touch with yourself and your value, the value of your time, your worth, working on the things that you want to work on or you need to work on, or things to integrate within yourself, to learn to love about yourself rather than viewing as a negative or viewing as a problem. Like, you know what? This is a part of me. This is a part of the fabric of who I am as a person. How can I work with that? That's such a different reframing than just like, oh, I overthink. It's so horrible. So I do that too. I've had times where like I overthink. I have a very, very active mind, and I have done that in my relationships. But now I can view that differently and go, you know what? Sometimes I'm just seeing things that they're not seeing. It's not that I'm overthinking. It's my mind is different than theirs. And I should be comfortable to share. This is the thing I'm seeing. I think that's a problem. And if they don't think it's a problem, we're not on the same page. And that comes from me having shifted my relationship with myself rather than viewing my behaviors as a problem, as an issue, as a deterrent, as self-sabotage, that they're going to leave, they're going to abandon, they're going to run away. So everything you're saying, I have been there. I have been there, and those are things I have worked on in the last like few years. So it's just getting in touch with yourself,